Hey, what's happening, Herpers? It's time for this month's patron chosen video, and this month there's a tie between totally revamping Bojangles, the albino Western Diamondback Rattlesnake's Enclosure, and beginning to target train my pet Tegu L. Now, this poll took place over on Patreon, and I do have a vote over there, but rather than letting my vote be the tiebreaker and potentially disappointing half of my patrons, I decided that since there's a tie, it just means that I have to make both videos. So that is what today's video is. I am out going for a walk with Jada, and we're going to jump right into the chosen topics for this month's patron chosen video. And what I'm doing here is just looking for cool rocks, cool sticks, rocks that'll add a cool pop of color, sticks that look interesting, and just kind of look around for inspiration and collect things that I can actually use inside of my rattlesnake's enclosure.
Still having fun. All right, let's go.
Ooh, I like the look of this one. I think it should be the perfect length to fit long ways in Bojangles' enclosure.
You ready to go back?
And now that I've got a cool stick and a backpack full of rocks, I'm gonna head back home and sanitize all of these materials, and then I'll get on to target training my pet dinosaur. But before I start training my Tegu, I am going to just wash off all of these rocks and sticks to get as much of the dirt and other organic material off as possible, and that'll allow the bleach that I spray on it in the next step to work more efficiently and hopefully kill anything nasty that might be living on these sticks and rocks, since I did just find them on the ground after all. Then after letting the bleach solution sit for a good while, I rinsed off the bleach and set everything outside to bake in the sun. And I do that for two reasons. The first is the Arizona sun is just a great extra level of disinfectant, and the second reason is to give the wood extra time to air out in case there's any bleach still trapped in it. I don't want those gases escaping inside of my reptile's enclosure. And speak of the devil, it is time to get Bojangles out of his very boring, oversimplified enclosure and into his holding container so we can play Extreme Home Makeover Rattlesnake Edition. Which means that this is the part of the video where I say, please don't try this at home. I am a reptile keeper with years of experience, and I still exercise extreme caution every time I handle any venomous reptile. And for the record, because I always see it in the comments, yes, Bojangles and his older brother Spot, not that they're really brothers, and my bigger rattlesnake Spot are both still venomous, and there's actually no really effective or humane way to 100% remove the venom glands or fangs of any venomous snake. Which means that the only way that I as his keeper and him as the snake both stay safe is that I don't rush things and that I never become complacent or let my guard down while handling him, because a bite from him would be a serious bummer. And speaking of Bojangles' older brother Spot, there he is looking nice and grouchy after finishing this week's small rat. And right below him is Elle sleeping, but she won't be sleeping for long because today is day one of dragon training.
You ready to work for your food today? So as you can see, I've got her trained pretty well just to come to where I'm tapping. She's picked up on the connection between that and eventually getting food. But today I want to see if I can get her to build that association with the red dot. It looks like we are getting a little bit of a response to it. She can see it, but it looks like she is smart enough to know it's not food, probably because she's not getting a scent from it. So from that point of knowing that she can see it and react to it, now I'm going to work on building that association between the red dot and getting food. So hopefully we can train her to chase that dot instead of my hand.
So I'm going to start off by giving her a free berry to get her attention, and then once I know she's in the mood for raspberries, I will start trying to use the laser to train her to go after them.
Wow, this is going a lot better than I anticipated. Let's see if I might need to pick up the food. I think she's a little too smart for me just to put it behind me. She's going for the source. Here, take that one. Don't Don't eat right out of the container. She set that one down so fast when she saw I was taking the whole package away. Or is it just that you want blueberries? Go get it. Go get it. Yep, yeah. Alright, so she wants more food, but she is coming to me to beg for it instead of chasing the laser. And I'm wondering if part of the problem is she can't see it on the horizontal surface, because if I shine it at something like, well, let's see, oh, yeah, something more in front of her, it seems like she sees it easier, and she does head towards it. Like right there, she got to it, so I'm gonna, oh. Well, that's no good. I didn't get the berry there fast enough. So I want to limit those interactions, because every time she does go to the laser and she doesn't get food, well, that's given her less of a reason to associate the two. And that's the connection I'm trying to build right now. So now that she's kind of lost interest, I'm going to see if I can get her to maybe turn around with the laser. Oh, alright, there we go. She's coming out. Looks like she sees the laser. And she sees the blueberry. Nice. Nice, nice. I think this is going to be a very successful day one of training.
And now I'm going to up the stakes with some protein. If you don't want to see a big lizard eat a frozen mouse, or formerly frozen mouse, this is the time to look away or scroll ahead 30 seconds.
So you just saw her respond to the sound of me tapping some of the extra water off of her food. That is the type of response I wish I was getting out of just the laser. But this is day one of training, so hopefully just having it around a bunch while she's eating. I'll do this for a few more weeks and see if we can build more of a concrete association. Alright, looks like she's somewhat interested in the laser over there. See if maybe the combination of the smell coming from that rough direction and the association with the laser and the berries she was eating early, maybe we can get her to get over to it. If she does, I'm going to give her a mouse as fast as I can to reward her, and hopefully that will put an end to a very successful first day of target training. She's pretty close. Pretty close. I think now she's just realizing that's not where the good smell's coming from. Oh, I don't know why my camera stopped filming, but she got pretty dang close to the laser, and then I gave her the mouse. I'm hoping that got filmed. If not, even more of a reason for a follow-up video to this very soon, so let me know in the comments if that is something you are interested in.
And now, with day one of Tegu training in the bag, it is time to check back in with the Rattlesnake renovations. I am still going to be using all of these decorations, but I'm going to take them out and sanitize them, as well as pull out all of the old bedding so we can get it replaced with some nice, clean-smelling fresh bedding for Bojangles. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to scrape off the old glue from the thermometer and hygrometer that used to be in the enclosure. And with that, the habitat is ready for the fresh bedding and all of the new decorations we collected.
Checking in on her to make sure she's not going to go running out.
And here are all of the decorations that we sanitized earlier. You can see that they are completely dried out now, and I also gave them the old sniff test, and they didn't smell like bleach anymore, so that means I'm good to start decorating. Oops, thought it wasn't going to fit there for a second, but this stick is actually a perfect fit for this enclosure, and then I went ahead and just based the rest of the build all around that stick, using it to kind of develop a upper level and a lower level, and I also used it to support the hide that I'm most excited to hopefully see Bojangles use. That's always the fun part about designing any reptiles enclosure, is you kind of always have an idea in your head of how they're going to use it and how it's supposed to work. But then the real test of that idea of how you design the habitat is how your reptile ends up actually using it. So hopefully Bojangles will figure out that this is a hide over here and he can actually escape down into these rocks. I'll still have a window to be able to see him through the glass. That's what I'm really excited for, and I hope he doesn't mind. And finally, the last real important tip I have to mention for anybody redecorating any sort of reptile tank: if you're using real rocks, if you're using anything that's heavy, you really want to make sure that they are in a sturdy location. So I'm going to go around and hit all of these rocks, put pressure on them, and really try to get them to fall. That way, if it doesn't fall, I know that I made a safe enclosure and I don't need to worry about coming into my reptile room to find Bojangles squished under a rock someday. But putting that nasty thought aside, everything is looking nice and sturdy in this enclosure, which means it is time to get Bojangles back home. How do you enjoy your alone time? Keep your head that way, bud. And touchdown. He is safely back into his enclosure. Hopefully we'll get to see him do some exploring here. And while we see how Bojangles likes his new space, I would like to take this moment to thank all of my patrons that voted for this, or voted for these topics for this month's patron chosen video. As always, I had a great time spending the day with Bojangles and Elle, and of course Jada, my guard chihuahua, and I really hope that you enjoyed coming along with us today. If you did, besides me and my critters, my patrons are the ones that you should thank for their direct support of this channel that allows me to make videos as often as I do. So thank you again to all of my patrons, starting with my head herpers: Allie Ward, Amanda Lynn, Deborah Torgerson, Jane Cabin Girl, JCH, Lindsay Justice, Loki and Thor, Sierra Sicard, and Tiffany H. I couldn't do it without you or my patrons at the other tiers, my helpful herpers and Herpin Hippies. As always, thank you for your continued support, and if you are new to the channel, or if you've been enjoying the channel for a while and would like to get a shout out, or just get your name in the credits of all my full videos, you can sign up on Patreon to help keep this channel going for as little as $3 a month. And becoming a patron of any tier level will earn you the ability to vote in the monthly patron polls that choose the topics of videos like what you just saw today. So thank you one last time to all of my past, present, and future patrons. Your support means the world to me. And with that, it looks like Bojangles has finally settled in on his basking spot and is enjoying the new build. I'll be sure to post some updates in YouTube Shorts if you want to see how he enjoys this habitat throughout the week, as well as how his first feeding in this habitat goes. So like the video if you liked the video, let me know down in the comments what you want to see next, and subscribe so you don't miss it. And with that, thanks for watching this week's video. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, but most of all, I hope that you just keep herping.